Hi everyone, it is Wednesday and it's time for class. Who do we have on with us today? Let's see who is first in. Hi Frida, hi everybody. Hey guys, how is everyone today? We good? I'm just letting some people in. I'm letting other people in here now. Goodness, there's loads of you on a Wednesday. How is everybody today? We're good? That's brilliant. Hi everyone. Hi Roisin, hi Reen, hi Oren. Hey everybody, whoa, we've loads of people on today. Great. Okay, right. I'm going to tell you what we need first and then I'll show you what we need for today's class. All right. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is, and I bet you can guess what it is. It's a scissors. Yes, folks, we need one of these every week, don't we, guys? A scissors. So we need one of these first. All right, brilliant. You're all prepared. We also are definitely going to need some glue. Okay, so scissors, glue, your markers. We need these most weeks too. We don't really need them this week, but you might need them. You might decide you need these, okay? And the most important thing, one of the most important things is a piece of string. So one of your pieces of string in your pack. And it might help you decide if I tell you that today's activity is a St. Patrick's Day activity, okay? So I've picked an orange one to match the orange in the Irish flag. You could pick a green one or you could pick any colour you like. It doesn't really matter, okay? And the last thing we need are, of course, the paper, all right? Now, you can do any colour paper you want, but if you want to make it really look like a St. Patrick's Day activity, you might want to pick these three colours, which are green, white and orange, or yellow, or two different kinds of green. So you can see I have two different colour greens in my pack. So I have a nice little light colour green as well. So this might be nice, but you don't have to do the St. Patrick's colours. You can do any colours you want. But if you wanted to look like a St. Patrick's Day thing, then maybe the green, white and orange might be the way to go. Okay? Now I'm going to go over all of that again. What was that?
Card or paper?
Paper. Yeah, so it's the lighter one that we need today. Okay? So it's paper. So you don't have to do the green, white and orange. You could do two greens, you could do two oranges, you could do greens and oranges, or you can do whatever colour you want. I'll show you in a second what we're making, and then you might decide you might want to do other colours instead. Okay? As always, I don't mind because it's your design and it's your craft, so you can do whatever you want. All right, so I'm just going to go over all of that again because we still have people joining the class. I'm going to go over all of the things we need one more time for everybody, okay? So we are going to need a scissors is the first thing we're going to need, all right? Next thing, glue. So scissors and glue are your first two things, all right? You're going to need your markers. Maybe you might want to use your markers. You might not want to use your markers, but have them handy anyway. And we need a piece of string. Any colour will do, but if you want to stick with the Patrick's Day colours, there's maybe oranges or greens in your pack, or yellows might be kind of St. Patrick's Day colours. Just one piece of string and 3 sheets of paper. Now, as I was saying, guys, just for those of you who are joining class now, if you want it to be a St. Patrick's Day activity or creation, maybe you should go with your green, white and orange because they're the Irish flag colours. Or you can go with 2 greens or 2 oranges or white and whatever you like. But it doesn't have to be a St. Patrick's Day one. If you don't want it to be, you can make it a different colour, okay? I'm going to show you what we're making and it might help you to decide what colours paper you might want to use, okay? So today we're making these hanging shamrocks, okay? It's kind of hard to see actually because... There we go. It's a little bit better if I hold the white behind it. So you can see that my shamrock there is made of 3 different colour paper. I've done 2 different colour greens. So I've got a light colour green in the middle and a darker colour green on the outside. And then I've done smaller shamrocks towards the top where I'm hanging it up, okay? So that might help you decide. I'm going to show you another one that we did and that Leah made yesterday because Leah was teaching for me yesterday. And she did it in different colours completely. So you don't have to do the St. Patrick's Day colours. You can do any colours you like. So that's her rainbow version, okay? All right. So they're just two different colours, and I have another one here that's kind of a little bit of St. Patrick's Day with the green on the outside, but I've got blue and pink in the middle. So it's whatever colours you like or think will work for your design. Are we ready to get started? Yep, lots of thumbs up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the colour that you want to put in the inside, right in the middle. Okay, so this bit here. Okay, we're going to choose that colour first. Okay, I'm going to do orange, I think, for mine. And we're going to take that paper and make sure it's paper, not card. Okay, the paper is lighter. Now, some of you have a big piece of paper and some of you have a normal A4 sheet. And how you know which size you have is if you hold it up against your white paper. If it's the same size, you don't have to do anything right now. But if it's a bit bigger, you might want to cut the paper in half. Okay? You don't have to. You can if you like. All right? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pick the one that I'm putting in the middle. So the one I'm going to do in the center is my orange one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, portrait wise, so nice and long like this. Okay, like that. Open it up and cut down the center. Okay, so if you have a bigger sheet of paper, you might want to cut it in half first and then fold it in half again. Okay, some of you have bigger color sheets of paper because all the shops were running out of paper before Christmas. So some of you have slightly bigger sheets of paper than other people. Okay, so if you have this sheet, we're going to cut that down the center line like that. And you're used to doing that at this stage. This is week 8 and we've been cutting and folding and folding and cutting for 2 whole months now. So you're used to how things work. Okay, so now I have this whole sheet of paper. I've got 2 of them because I've cut it in half. I'm going to put one to the side because I'm only going to use one, and I'll have this left over for some other things later. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side. And with the piece that I have left over, I'm going to fold it twice. Okay, I need you to make 3 strips, long strips like this with your paper. So I'm going to fold it into 3. So I'm going to fold it into the middle like that. Like how we did last week. Remember, I was telling you how to fold things in 3. Okay, so if you put your finger in the middle here like this, you fold this section over and you can make a line, and then you fold this side over again like this. Now I'm going to do that again, so don't worry. Okay, you don't have to measure it. You can always kind of guess. I usually just guess and it's almost perfect every time, so they don't have to be identical. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time so I can show you. So if you want to do it absolutely dead straight, put your fingers in the middle like this. And we're going to fold over one side over my fingers like that. You just make a line and fold it all the way up to the top. Okay, you can make it more even on a table. It's much easier to do on a table. And then you do it again. Pop your fingers in the center and fold the other side over. Okay, and it makes it cut more or less even. All right, but you can always guess. I think you guys are probably good at the guessing in this group. I think you are. Are you? Yeah, I think you are. Now, when we've got the 2 lines, we're going to do exactly the same thing again, guys, as we did when we folded in half. And we're just going to cut along those lines and we'll end up with 3 strips of paper, okay, in our lovely middle colour, the colour we're doing in the centre, my lovely orange colour. So I'm just going to cut that just down the line like this. And you could take your time. So I've got 1 strip done. And I'm going to do 2 more now. And do you know what? They're not perfect, but it doesn't matter because I think no one's going to notice. These look so good in a window as decoration for Patrick's Day that nobody's going to notice if it's a little bit crooked. Okay. And as I say, always say, we're not robots. We're not perfectly straight all the time. Right? So I've got my 3 lovely strips of paper now, and Rian and Oren are flying in their house. I can see them flying away. Brilliant. Cutting like mad. Fantastic. Watch your fingers though, guys. Don't go too fast. All right. Is everyone else okay? How are we getting on there, Isabel? Are we good? Yeah. Fantastic. Great stuff. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fold these in half like this. Because we need 6 little strips. Okay. So I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to cut that in half now. Okay, so we have 6 kind of small strips, and these are going to be the inside of our shamrock. So I've cut it, folded it in half and cut it in half. So this is the size that we started with, and this is the size that we need for the middle one. Okay, the middle one is going to be our smallest part. You can see there, okay, our smallest loops. And then we've got a little bit bigger for our middle loops, and the big ones we won't have to cut at all. Okay, so we're going to fold the 3 of them in half and cut them in half then, all right? So that's my second one. I folded it in half, and I'm just going to use my scissors and cut it in half as carefully as I can. And I'm going to move into my third one now, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I've done the same thing with all 3 little strips of paper. Okay, so I folded it, and now I'm cutting. So I end up with 6 pieces, 6 little strips of paper like this. Fantastic. Eve is flying it. She's got them all done. Reen and Oren are flying it today. Did you have fizzy drinks or sugar before class or what? You're flying it. Fantastic. It's like a fan. You're right, Eve. It's like a fan. Lovely, Emma Jane. Lovely. Very nice. Okay, now what we're going to do with this is we're going to move on to the next section. Or is everyone ready to move on? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. Are we good? Yeah, fabulous. Great stuff. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make little loops like this. Okay, that's what we're making. And how we're going to do that, guys, is really simple. We're just going to put a lot of glue on the bottom here and then fold it over and glue it together. Now, we're going to try and make it as even as we can at the bottom. So try not to have a bit sticking out like this, hanging down, okay? Like that. We want it to be as even as we can because it's going to be the bottom of your shamrock, and we need it to be as even as we can so they all stick together in the end, okay? So I'm just going to get my glue, and my rule about the glue, loads and loads and loads of glue. Do not be mean with glue, okay? Because we want it to stay together. We don't want to have to go back and stick things a second time, okay? So you can see, you always know if you have enough glue if it looks wet here with the light, okay? And I'm just going to fold it over, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to make sure that that's stuck together, and that's what I end up with. It's like a kind of a teardrop shape, really, isn't it? Okay? And we're going to do that with all 6 of them, okay? So that's my first one. I'm going to put loads and loads and loads of glue on the second one. Fold it over, make sure it's as even as I can get it at the bottom. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze so it sticks. And that's my second one, okay? So I have 2 of them now, all right? And we're not going to stick anything together. We're not going to stick pieces together yet. We're just going to make these loops, and we're going to leave them separately at the side of the table for a moment because all of these little sections are made separately, okay? And then we'll put them all together at the end, like we do every week. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, okay? And I see Emma Jane and Connor have an assistant, a lovely assistant again this week. I'm definitely going to have to put some gold stars in the next box, I think, for next term for you. Yeah. Now, here's my third one. And I'm going to keep going. You guys are much faster than I am at this. Some of you have 4 done, I think. And this is my 4th one. Very good. 4 little loops, and I'm going to go again. So my second last one, getting it as even as I can at the bottom like that, okay? And my number 6, my last one, loads of glue on it again, guys, and make sure it's shiny. Get my ends together and stick, stick, stick. And now I have 6 of them, okay? I have 6 of these little loops, okay? 6 of these. And I'm going to pop them to one side for a minute because I'm finished with my inside ones, okay? My middle ones. So just while you guys are finishing up with those, I'm just going to recap what we've done so far for everybody who's watching at home, okay? So we took our sheet of A4 paper. If it's a little bit bigger than that, you can fold it in half and start with that. Or you can just use the big sheet of paper. It's up to yourselves, okay? What we did is we folded it in half in a portrait, and then we cut down that lovely line, and we ended up with 2 strips of paper this size, this width, okay? And we started off with the colour we want in the centre of our shamrock, all right? We cut that in half. We ended up with 2 little strips like this. And what we did then is we took the strip and we folded that in 3. So 1, 2. So you only need to fold it twice to make 2 lines, okay? When we opened it back up, we cut along those lines and we end up with 3 strips, long strips of paper. When we had our 3 long strips of paper, we folded them over in half like this. We cut it and we ended up with 6 small strips of paper. Then we put loads and loads and loads of glue at the end, folded it over on itself, glued it together, and we ended up with 6 of these little mini sections of shamrock. Okay, everyone ready to move on? Yeah, brilliant. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to your next piece of paper, the one you want in the middle. Okay, fantastic, Emma Jane. Okay, so the one you want in the middle. My earlier one, I did it in orange, but I'm going to do it in white this time, okay? Like the Irish flag in the middle. That's the one I'm going to do, okay? So now, we're going to start off the same way as we did with our orange paper. We're going to fold it in half, like this, portrait-wise, which is up and down, okay? And opening it back up, and we're going to cut along that line again. But this time, we're going to need all of the sheet of paper, okay? So we're going to cut down that line all the way down the center, just like we did with our orange one. It's exactly the same to start off with, okay? And what we're going to do then is we're going to fold it in 3 again, okay? Exactly the same way as you did with your orange one. So if you're a little bit behind, we're doing the same thing again, so you haven't missed anything, okay? So I'm going to put my fingers here in the center. I'm going to fold one side over the other, pop it down on the table, and just make that as even as I can, and just fold it all the way down, make a nice little line like that, okay? And then we're going to fold in the other side, okay? So we end up folding, and it's much easier, guys, to do it on a table or something flat. I don't have that luxury because I need to show you in the camera. So when we open it back up, we've got those lovely lines, and we're going to cut along those lines again, okay? So just to recap again, we took our white paper, or the paper you want in the center, folded it in half, which is portrait-wise up and down, opened it back up, cut the pages in half, and we ended up with 2 pieces of paper this size. We folded it twice to make 2 little lovely lines, and we're cutting those out now. And we end up with 3 strips of the middle colour again, okay? But this time, the only thing that's different is we're going to do that with both sides of the paper, okay? So we cut the paper in half, and we're going to have 6 long strips. That's what we need, 6 long strips this time, okay? So we're not going to fold it and cut it in half this time, this way, all right? Because we want them to be a little bit bigger than our lovely middle ones. These are our mini ones. These are our medium ones. And then we have nice big ones in a second, okay? So I'm going to cut those out on my first half, and then I'm going to do the folding on the second half then again, okay? So this is my lovely 3 strips for my first half, okay? And I'm going to leave them this length for a minute, nice and long, okay? And I'm going to move on to my other side. So I'm going to do the same thing again, just popping my fingers in the center here, 2 of my fingers, and folding one side over like that, and just making it even and fold it all the way down, or up or down, I suppose, and folding over the other side to make those lovely straight lines. We're going to open it back up, and we're going to cut those lines along those lines, okay? So I'm going to cut those lines now, and then we will see if everybody has caught up, okay? I think you probably are faster than me at cutting in this group, actually. My Wednesday group are great. Okay, and off I go, cutting all the way down that lovely line on the other side. So I end up with 6 long strips this time instead of 6 mini strips. Okay. Fantastic. How are we getting on, Eve? That looks like a ponytail. You've made hair with this. She's got it sticking out like this. Ponytail. Or you could have it like as feathers on the top, like a fancy hat, maybe. Fantastic. Or a fringe. Look, I could give myself a hairstyle. Fantastic. Perfect. So is everyone ready with their second lot of strips? We're still working away, are we, Eve? You're still working. Okay, that's grand. I'll give it another second. Don't worry, Frida. Yeah, brilliant. And Eve is working away there as well, I think. Are you, Eve? No, Eve is finished. Perfect. Isabel is still working, I think. Brilliant. Okay. Right. So we've ended up with these lovely mini ones. Okay, we've got these. And we are going to just move on to fixing the ones we've just done and making them the right length. Okay. So we're not going to cut them in half. We are going to just cut a little bit off the top. Now, this does not have to be perfect. They just need to be a little bit bigger than our orange ones and a little bit smaller than our big ones for the outside. So I'm just going to use my thumb, okay? My thumb is about this length. So I'm going to cut about that much off the top, okay? Like that. Okay? And then I'm going to use the one I cut to measure the other ones, okay? So I'm going to hold the other ones like this, behind it, like that. You can't see it really with the white, but it's like there, okay? And then I'm going to cut those ones to be around the same size. And again, guys, this does not have to be absolutely perfect. Mine are kind of the same size now, okay? So I've taken the one I cut and I put it on top of my nice long one. And I'm measuring it. I'm going to put mine out to the side so you can see. So I measured it. And I'm just going to cut to make them a similar size. Like that. Cutting that bit off. Okay? And I'm going to do that with all 6 of them. And I've got these lovely white pieces of paper left. And I'm going to put this with the orange paper that I have left over from earlier. Because I might, if I want to later, add onto it and make these lovely shamrock shapes at the top to stick on. But you don't have to do that. That's an added extra if you'd like to do something like that. Or you can make something else with those colours for St. Patrick's Day. So you'd have that left over. So I'm going to keep going until I've got my 6 strips cut. So I've measured them like that. Okay, measured it. And I'm just going to cut that bit off. And I'm going to do that 6 times. So I'm on my last one now. Okay, like this. And brilliant. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to recap while you guys are catching up again. So I started off with my A4 sheet of paper, my coloured paper, folded it in half and cut it down the centre. Okay, so this is for my second one, the middle colour of my shamrock. All right. And when I opened it up, I cut it in half like this. And what I did was I folded the 2 halves into 3 strips again. So like this. And I cut all 6 long strips. And what I did was I decided I wanted to cut a little piece off the top. So I measured my thumb. Now you can use your marker for that and make a little line on the paper. Or you can just do it the way I did it. And when you cut the top bit off like that, I'm just holding it up against my longer ones. And I just use it to be all the same size. And I end up with kind of 6 medium-sized strips. Okay? How are we getting on, guys? Are we all right? Give me thumbs up if you've caught up. Are we good? Yep, we're brilliant. Now, what we're going to do is we're not going to glue these to themselves. We're going to glue them over our orange ones, or the middle colour, okay? And I'm going to make myself bigger here now so you can see, all right? So I'm going to glue them like this. I'm going to glue it onto one side and fold it over and glue it onto the other side. So it ends up kind of covering the first one, okay? So I'll do that again. So I'm going to put glue on the end of my middle strip, okay? So the strips we just did, I'm going to put glue on the bottom of it, just like we did with the first ones. You can see I have loads and loads and loads of glue on it. Going to glue on my center piece, okay? So I'm going to pop it in. I'm trying to get the bottoms as even as I can again, okay? I'm going to put glue here and stick this on. And we end up with this lovely kind of bigger teardrop shape than we had before. All right, so loads and loads of glue again, guys, especially when you're sticking card together. But if you're sticking loads of paper on loads of paper, you're going to need a good bit of glue, okay? So look, I've made the bottom as even as I can, okay? No bits hanging down or sticking out. And I've gone over it like this, And we're going to do that for all 6 of your mini ones, your small ones, okay? So I'm going to do that again. Just getting my little strip of paper, my medium strip. Loads and loads and loads of glue again. Okay. I'm going to glue on my little mini one from earlier. Like that. Putting glue on it and covering it up with my medium strip. Okay, like this. Like that. Brilliant. Because really, I was, when I was learning how to draw shamrocks when I was your age, somebody told me it's really just 3 love hearts stuck together. So you can see it really on this one. So you've got 1 love heart, 2 love heart, 3 love heart. So it's a handy way to remember how to draw a shamrock. And we should know how to draw shamrocks because we're all Irish and it's our Irish flower or plant. Okay, it's actually a weed, but I think it's a really pretty one. Brilliant. So we're just going to do this 6 times, okay? So I've got 1, 2. I'm going to keep going until I have the 6 of them done. Okay, so I'm putting loads of glue on the end of my big one, putting on my small one, not my medium one, my small one on, and then gluing the medium one over it again, okay? And these guys, it's really simple to make. These are brilliant in the window for St. Patrick's Day or on a wall or over a table. And last year we had one hanging from our lamp over our dining table when we had our St. Patrick's dinner.
Like this?
Yes, that's perfect. Perfect, Eve. Yeah. So 6 of those now, okay? So keep going with the little mini ones that you made. I have 3 of mine done there now. I'm going to keep going and I will have them all done in no time. So yeah, we had one hanging over the dinner table last year because we were in lockdown again last year. We just started lockdown, I think. And we've decided we'd cheer ourselves up by really decorating the house and popped one of those on over the dinner table. And it was really nice. It really cheered everybody up. And they look really good in the window too. Now, there we go. That's my 4th one. And I'm going to do my 2nd last one. Like this. Loads and loads and loads of glue again. Okay, and popping it on. More glue on it and then folding it over. I think you've got the hang of it now though. It's not that difficult once you know what you're doing, and it looks really good when they're done. Really, really, it looks more difficult than it actually is when it looks impressive. Okay, 5. And I'm on to my last one. Loads of glue again. Fantastic. And there we go. My last one, last bit of it, and I'm folding it over like this again, okay? Now actually, while you're catching up there, guys, I've all 6 of mine done. How are you guys getting on? Are we good? We're still gluing away like mad? Yeah, we're still gluing. Great, that's perfect. So guys, I had another idea just while I was looking at the one that Leah made yesterday, which is lots of different colours. And this is a really good design that you can do not just for shamrocks. You can make flowers like this if you just do 3 together like that. Okay. And actually, if you change the shape at the top of it like this one, I'm going to show you in this one. If you folded it like this, all the way up like that, okay, and if they all looked like that shape, and you could make the face of a peacock, and stick it on here, and it would look like a hanging peacock, because all of the wings, you've changed the shape of the little loop, and it's really, really simple. And it would be really colourful and lovely to hang on your wall or off a lamp, like I was saying that I did with my my St. Patrick's Day one. So it's just by changing the little shape, you can make them all pointed when you're making them instead of loops like that. And it makes it look more like a feather than a shamrock. Okay, just a little idea that you can do if you wanted to do another one at some other stage. Okay, another little arts and crafts project. Right, I'm going to move on. If you're a little bit behind, that's okay. Don't worry, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to move on to your last colour. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to do exactly the same thing as we did for the last one that we did. So we're going to do fold it in half again. Okay, like this. Folding it in half. opening it up and cutting down the center. So they all start exactly the same way. The only way they're different is the different lengths or different sizes of those strips that we made, okay? So I've cut this down the center, and I'm going to do again exactly the same thing as I did for the last two colours. And I'm going to put my fingers in the center and fold it in like this, just to make it into two pieces, trying to make it as even as I can to make those lovely 3 strips. And I'm going to cut that into 3 strips. And this time, guys, we don't have to cut these again at all, okay? They're exactly the size that we need them to be. The full length is exactly the size we need them to be, okay? So I'm going to cut these into 3 strips, and I'm going to do the same thing with both sides, okay? So I'm going to go along here again. Fantastic. And I'm making it into 3 strips, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, as I already said, okay? So I end up with 3 long green ones, or the outside colour that I'm doing, okay? And I'm going to do the same, exactly the same thing on the other side. Right, okay? We all good? Yeah, no questions or anything? Just busy folding and cutting. That's what I like to see, busy creating stuff, okay? So we're going to do exactly the same thing with the other side, just folding it into 3 again and cutting down those lines to make those lovely strips of green paper, okay? So I've got 3 little sections. I'm going to cut those now again. Okay, so there's lots of cutting in this one. And last week there's lots of painting. So there's always one week where there's loads of things we need, and then there's another week like this week where we don't need very many things, but there's a lot of work, a lot of cutting in it. And some people are really good at cutting, other people are really good at painting, some people are really good at drawing. But it's really good because all of you guys are really good at creating things and coming up with your own ideas. And I love seeing your own ideas and little additions and little things you add on or change yourselves. I really like that. So make sure if you ever make something outside of class, you can send me that too to show me if you like. Okay. Now I've ended up with 6 of these full length long strips. And just while you guys are doing that again, I'm just going to recap what we did for our last one, the one we've just done. Okay. So what we did was we took our, I'm just going to take another sheet of paper. We took our sheet of the 3rd colour, which is our A4 paper like this. And we folded it in half portrait wise again. Okay. Like that. And when we folded it in half, we had that lovely line, and we cut down the line just like we did with the 1st and the 2nd colour. And then we ended up with 2 strips of paper this size, okay? What we did was we folded it over twice in on itself, like you would do with a letter if you're sending a letter, okay? We ended up with those 2 lovely lines in the centre, and we cut down the lines, and we ended up with 3 strips. And we did exactly the same thing on the other side of this side paper, okay? So we've ended up with 6 of those strips. We're not going to cut these to make them shorter, like I said. We're going to leave them the right length. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did with these guys. We're going to put lots of glue on the end, glue it on as even as we can, fold it over, and glue it on the other side. So we end up with this. Okay.
I was busy doing the white. I don't know what to do with the green.
Yeah, so when you're with the green, it's exactly the same thing as you just did with the white, Eve. Okay, so cut down the center of that page that you have in your hand, the line you just made, and we're going to make 6 strips out of it again. Okay?
Okay.
So work away on that there, and then you can catch up with us in a sec. I'll be recapping again, don't worry. Okay? So for those of you who were just a little bit ahead, we're going to start sticking those together, okay? So I'm going to put more glue on the bottom, doing exactly the same thing as we did with the first lot, okay? Gluing it onto the back like that, as even as we can at the bottom, folding it over and gluing it to the other side, so we end up with this. All right? I know it's kind of hard to see without the white behind it. I might show you just with the white behind it so you can kind of see a little bit better there. All right? So that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to do that with all of them again. Okay, so you end up with 6 of those loops or hoops, I suppose. Yeah, they're kind of loops. And we're going to be as even as we can at the bottom. All right. So I've done that one. I've glued it together, and that's my first one done. And I'm going to take my time doing these, guys. So don't worry. If you're a little bit behind, as long as you can make one of them, you can always finish them off after class. So don't worry, okay? So I've got another one. I put loads of glue on the bottom. You can see they're shiny, so I know I have enough glue. Sticking it on the back of one of my loops, my white loops. And then I'm going to glue it here as well by putting lots of glue on, and I end up with my second one. So I'm going to keep going until I have all 6 of them done. Okay. And I'm going to go and stick it, making sure it's as even as I can at the bottom. No bits kind of sticking out or up or anything like that. Okay, so that's 2. All right. And we're going to leave them this way at the moment. We're not going to put them together yet to make our heart shape. We're just going to leave them like this for the moment. All right. So pop them to one side until we've all of them done, because there's a trick to sticking them all together, and because we need to put this lovely string in the middle so it hangs up. All right. Okay. Brilliant. So I'm going to keep gluing here, and you guys can glue away. And I'll recap again in a second for those of you who are a little bit behind. So don't worry about that, guys. All right. So gluing it on to the back, and then popping some glue on the other side and making that lovely loop again. Okay, so I've just glued it on this side and putting the loop over. And even then, those on their own are really pretty. I think they're just really nice. Like, you can make a total, you do a nice bow for your hair, or you could do like rabbit ears. So I'm going to keep going. I have 3 done, so I'm halfway there with these shapes. Okay, I'm going to pop this here. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I've done with the other ones. So they're going to be almost all the same. And some of them are a little bit bigger than others. And I don't mind that, guys, because no one will notice. Some of them are wider than the other ones, and it's okay, because you're going to be sticking them on together and they're going to look really pretty in the end. Or really cool, I suppose, is the proper word for it. So I'm going to keep going. So I'm on my second last one. I'm on my 5th one now. And I'm just going to stick that on and put more glue on the other side, like here. Okay, like that, and fold over the paper to make that lovely loop. There we go, that's 5 done, and I'm going on to my 6th one now. Like this, putting it on, popping this one in the center, and gluing it to the other side. All right, so we're going to just do that there now. Last one for me, and I'm going to fold it over. So how are you guys getting on, guys? I've got my 6 done. Have you moved on to your last section? Well done. Oh my God, Isabel, you're flying it. Perfect. Good girl. Fabulous. We're flying it. There's loads done, and Connor has loads done. Rian and Oren are flying it as well, but you have a lovely assistant helping you. I think I should send gold stars to your house as well. Fantastic. So we're working away. Some of us are still gluing like mad, and that's okay. So you should have 6 of these guys here, okay? So I think some of you have. Isabella's shown me her ones there. Perfect. There we go. Right. So we're not going to glue them to... Yes, Connor?
How many minutes does it take? How fast is over?
You've got about maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so don't worry. If you don't get it done, you'll finish it. You'll finish it in time. Don't worry. Okay, for those of you who are finished this little section, you can move on if you want to make these lovely shamrocks on the top. You don't have to do this. This is an option. If you'd like to do that, Isabel, I think you're ready. You could probably do this one. Frida's probably ready as well, I think. Maybe Roisin. You can use the leftover paper that you have to make these lovely little shamrocks here, okay, for the top if you like. It doesn't have to be a shamrock. It can be whatever shape you want. Just make sure you make 2 of each size so you can trap that lovely string in the middle, okay, while you're waiting for other people. That's kind of what I would suggest, all right? So if you want to make little shamrocks, you can do that. Just make sure you fold over the paper. When you draw it once, you end up with 2 of them. because you folded the paper. So when you cut it out, you have twins. So you have two of the one exact same shape, and you just stick it on, trapping the string. That's an extra little bonus if you want to do that, okay? Right, so I'm going to show you how to put it all together in a second. How is everybody getting on, guys? Are we good? Have we our 6 loops done? Yep. Eve, have you got them all done? You have? Perfect. How's Frida getting on? Good. Yeah. What about Roisin? Yeah, perfect, guys. That's brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So we've got these done. We're going to do our center one first, okay? So this is the most difficult one. This is the one that has the string sticking out of it, okay? So we're going to take our string, here it is, okay? And I'm going to leave maybe about this much at the end, okay? Just to make sure we've got enough space. It doesn't have to be a really long piece. It's probably just bigger than my hand, look. So it's probably, if you want to do that size, okay? It's just to have hanging out the bottom for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on one of my green bits here, one of the out bits, as if I was going to stick on another loop, okay? So lots and lots of glue. And I'll be doing this again in 1 second, so don't worry, okay, guys? So just down here at the bottom, loads of glue now, okay? Okay, loads and loads of glue. I'm going to actually put mine down on the table to make sure that I have enough glue on. And you can really see it's shiny there, okay? Shiny. I'm going to take the bottom of it, the string, not right, I'm going to make sure there's a little bit hanging out the bottom like that. And I'm just going to place the string in the center here and glue it on, okay? I'm going to take another one and stick them together like that, okay? So the string is in the middle. And I'm really, really, really going to squeeze that to make sure that the string is stuck into the center. Okay? So what I did there, I'll do that again for you guys, is I did a load of glue on the bottom of one of my loops. Then I took my string, made sure there was a little bit hanging out the bottom, and got another piece, another loop, and stuck that in and squashed the string between the two pieces. And I really squeezed until I had it done, okay? Now we're not finished yet with this little bit because look, it's hanging out at the top. So I'm just going to take my glue and I'm really gently going to put a bit of glue here on the inside, okay? Like that. Really gently. So I pop my thumb in one side here and I'm running my glue along it like that. All right, you can see now that's shiny. Okay, can you see? And I'm just going to get my string again, place it on the glue and press the two sides together with my fingers. So it's going to stay in there now again, okay? So I've trapped it at the top as well as the bottom. So I'm just going to hold it for a second, maybe count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is my love heart. And even this is a nice shape on its own, guys, if you just wanted to make a love heart shape. Okay, so it's really trapped in there. So I'll do that again. You put loads of glue on the bottom of one of the loops. You placed your string in the center and trapped it with another one of the loops. Really trapped it and squeezed until that was stuck. Then you really gently put glue on around the top here, along the top, and held that together with the string trapped in the middle again. Okay, now if you need a bit of help from your mums and dads for that, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to make my second love heart now, okay? And I'm going to just glue on one at a time to the sides, okay? So again, lots and lots of glue at the bottom. Just putting all these pieces together. This is the fun bit. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Putting it all together in the end, okay? Lots of glue at the bottom again. And I'm going to get another one and glue that on. And this is harder. The more we stick on, the harder the bottom gets. So really squeeze when you're sticking them on, and loads of glue, because it's like sticking cardboard to cardboard. Remember I was saying that about a few weeks ago. You need a load of glue for that to happen, okay? Because it's heavy. So I've just stuck another one on this side. And this one needs a second piece of a heart. So I'm going to put more glue here and I'm going to add it on. So you should have one love heart in the middle with your string coming out and a love heart on either side. So I have one more section to stick on here. So loads and loads of glue again. I'm going to put this down on the table just to make sure I have enough glue. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to get my next one and I'm going to glue it on here. And again, guys, I'm going to try and make the bottom of it as even as I can. You can see mine is nice and even. Okay? Because it'll help it to stick together, and I'm really, really, really squeezing. So you can see now, I've got my center love heart here, and I've got another one here. Okay? And I'm going to start with these ones on the other side. Okay? And guys, you could take your time with this. Don't worry. If you're a little bit behind me, don't worry. Okay? Are we okay, guys? You just want to say hi? Wow. Yeah, so you end up with 3 love hearts, guys, okay? So the first one is the one that we've got the string stuck in the middle. And you've done one on this side. And now I'm going to stick the other one on the other side. Okay, so you end up with 3 kind of love heart shapes. Connor, yours is fabulous. Well done. Did you decide to do those mini love hearts in the middle, Isabel, or at the top, or if you're going to do those? They look fab, I think. Now I'm going to stick my last one on, and you can see now, guys, look, I'm really, really squeezing the last one together. Well done, Roisin. That is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this is my guy done. Okay, now I don't want this big bit of string hanging out the bottom. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim off the little bit of string. Okay, like that. Okay. And you might need a help to make a loop on the top. All right. If you're going to stick on these lovely little shamrocks, I was going to call them love hearts. These little shamrocks on the top, you need a little bit more string. Okay. But if you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it with this one. I don't need it to be very long. Okay, so how I'm going to make a loop, I'm going to show you now for those of you who want to learn how to make a loop. Okay, so when I take my hand, the hand that I write with is my right hand. Okay, this is my right hand. I'm going to take the hand I don't write with and just loop it over my hand like this. Okay, and then hold the 2 pieces together. All right, so I've got a little loop here, just like we've been looping with our paper. I'm going to take the loop now and loop it over my finger. Okay, so I end up with this lovely, you can kind of see it here, this kind of X at the bottom. Like that. Little cross. I'm going to take the back loop and bring it through the front loop and pull. And I've made a little loop with a knot in it to hang on a window or in a picture frame or on a mirror or wherever you want to put it, or hang it on your light lamp like I did. And I've got all this string left over, so I'm going to cut that off. And you've got a little bit of string left over now you can use for something else during the week. Or you've got this paper, and you've got the little bits of the middle colour paper as well. So maybe you can make something else for St. Patrick's Day with what we've left over for today. How did we get on, guys? Because I'm finished. I've made my loop and I've made my shamrock. Oh my goodness, Eve, that is absolutely stunning. Well done. That is gorgeous, Frida. Well done, guys. Reen and Oren are still tying knots. Isabel is done. Roisin is done. Connor and Emma Jane are done. Absolutely well done, guys. Everybody has done such a brilliant job. And I like it because you can see it better with the white. Well done, guys. Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Make sure you take pictures and send them in to me because I love showing them off. Well done. And you're still popping yours together. Oren and Reen are still gluing, sticking theirs like mad together. So don't forget, loads and loads and loads of glue at the end and stick it together. And I love when people make their own little creations as well and have their own ideas and you know, make it their own. I love that too. Even those ones, I love to see photographs of those too. Okay, guys, enjoy making something else with the rest of your little bits of paper that you've left over from today. And I will see you all next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.